disappearance of Percy Fawcett. 1925 British explorer Percy Fawcett disappeared in the Amazon. He had been a respected surveyor for the Royal Geographical Society, mapping vast areas of South America. On his final expedition, he was joined by his 21-year-old son Jack and Jack's friend Raleigh Remmel. Their objective: locate what Fawcett called the Lost City of Zed, a hidden civilization he believed lay deep in the Mato Grosso region of Brazil. Their last confirmed location was Dead Horse Camp, where Fawcett wrote a letter to his wife saying they were heading east into largely unmapped territory. After that, the three walked into the forest and did not return. Dozens of search parties went and many failed. Some searchers disappeared or died. Reports ranged from abandoned campsites and empty hammocks to local testimony of seeing Europeans with native guides deeper in the forest. Nothing was ever verified. Theories include hostile encounters with tribes, disease, starvation, or becoming lost in the jungle. Some historians suggest he may have been right about complex societies in the Amazon, and that his insistence made him a target. Others think the environment simply consumed them. Decades later, airborne LiDAR surveys and archaeological work have revealed large engineered earthworks and urban-like settlements under the rainforest canopy, evidence that organized, populous societies existed in areas once thought empty. Those findings lend credibility to parts of Fawcett's hypothesis. Still, Percy Fawcett's ultimate fate is unknown. He vanished after claiming he had led on a major discovery, a discovery that, for some aspects, later evidence partially supported. His disappearance remains one of the most enduring mysteries of exploration. The disappearance of Michael Rockefeller. In 1961, Michael Rockefeller, the 23-year-old son of New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, vanished off the coast of New Guinea. He had been traveling in the Asmat region of Dutch New Guinea, documenting and collecting indigenous art for a museum. While crossing the mouth of a river in a small catamaran, the boat capsized. His companion, Dutch anthropologist René Wassing, stayed with the overturned craft. Michael attempted to swim several miles to shore to seek help. He was last seen paddling away on makeshift floats made from gasoline cans. He never arrived. Search parties were launched immediately, backed by the Dutch colonial government and the Rockefeller family's resources. Aircraft, ships, and local guides combed the area for weeks. Nobody was found. The official explanation was drowning or being swept out by currents. But the Asmat region was known for its remoteness and history of ritual headhunting. Local rumors later suggested Rockefeller reached shore, but was killed during a cycle of revenge conflicts among tribes. Some missionaries claim to have heard direct confessions from villagers decades later. Nothing was ever confirmed, and no physical evidence surfaced. The case remains unresolved. Michael Rockefeller disappeared at the intersection of anthropology and exploration. Right after a series of major cultural discoveries, he was recording for Western institutions. His fate is still debated, a mystery balanced between accident and violent encounter. The disappearance of Everett Ruiz. In 1934, 20-year-old artist and explorer Everett Ruiz vanished in the deserts of southern Utah. Ruiz was known for traveling alone with Burroughs, sketching, painting, and writing journals and letters about the beauty of the wilderness. In November of that year, he left the town of Escalante, telling locals he planned to head into the rugged canyons of the Escalante River. was the last confirmed sighting of him. Weeks later, searchers found his two burros wandering in a remote canyon, along with some of his camping gear. But there was no trace of Ruiz himself. Rumors spread quickly. Some believed he fell to an accident, perhaps swept away in a flash flood or fatally injured in the steep cliffs. Others suggested foul play, pointing to accounts of cattle rustlers and outlaws operating in the region. Still others claimed he deliberately vanished, choosing to live permanently among the native communities or deep in the wild, leaving society behind. Decades later, in 2009, bones were discovered in the desert and briefly thought to be his remains. But DNA testing proved otherwise. The mystery reopened and remains unsolved. Everett Ruiz disappeared right after producing striking artwork and writings that documented parts of the American wilderness few outsiders had seen. His final works and his disappearance combined to cement his legend as the lost artist of the desert. The disappearance of Dr. John Reed. In 1973, Dr. John Reed, a physicist studying electromagnetic anomalies, vanished under mysterious circumstances. Reed was investigating unusual readings from a supposedly abandoned laboratory on the outskirts of Boston. He had been documenting inexplicable fluctuations in electromagnetic fields and strange auditory phenomena. High-pitched tones and whispers recorded on sensitive equipment. Reed believed these signals were a form of communication, possibly from another dimension or intelligence. On the evening of October 12th, colleagues reported receiving a frantic phone call from Reed. He said the readings had intensified and that something is here, inside the lab. When a team arrived hours later, the lab was empty. Equipment was still running, but Reed was gone. No sign of forced entry or struggle was found. Investigators searched the surrounding area for weeks. Neighbors reported seeing strange lights and hearing unearthly hums, but nothing conclusive. Reed's disappearance remains unexplained. Dr. Reed vanished immediately after making what he considered a major breakthrough, detecting patterns in the anomalies suggesting intelligence behind the signals. His work remains a reference in fringe physics, and the mystery of what he encountered in that lab continues to intrigue researchers and paranormal enthusiasts alike. The disappearance of Glenn Miller. In December 1944, American band leader Glenn Miller disappeared over the English Channel. Miller was flying from the United Kingdom to France to entertain U.S. troops during World War II. He boarded a small single-engine plane with his pilot and co-pilot. The plane never arrived. No wreckage was ever recovered, and no bodies were found. Miller was already famous for his musical breakthroughs, having popularized swing music across America and Europe. His disappearance shocked both military personnel and the public. Theories about what happened include mechanical failure, bad weather, or accidental friendly fire. Despite extensive investigations, there is no definitive explanation. Glenn Miller vanished at the peak of his career, right after completing major contributions to music and morale for troops abroad, leaving a legacy of songs and a mystery that remains unsolved.